bring even in difficult times. We ask for wisdom and discernment for the agenda before us and the knowledge that will produce best welfare and true needs of our citizens. Help lead us and that we will lead with kindness and compassion and with a heart for all. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Chief, you have a sign-in sheet for me? All right, we're going to start off with public hearings before we get to citizens' comments. So, first public hearing regarding specific use permit for operating a rental business to be located at 3 FU 2483 Boys Point Resort, Texas. The public hearing will open at 6:02. Anybody who wishes to speak, please step up to the podium there, state your name.
I'd just like to say I'm Kevin Teagard, not proposing this business, so mostly I'd like to just open myself up if anybody has any questions.
Well, what type of rental business is it?
So a recreational rental business primarily is going to be initially focused on camper rentals. I'd like to keep the options open to possibly expand to boat rentals, maybe some utility trailers, just basic recreational household type of trailers and equipment.
I've asked you enough questions at P&Z.
All right, well, if that's all,
Good luck to you.
Yeah.
the meeting will, or the public hearing will close at 6:03. I will open the next public hearing regarding specific use permit for short-term rental located at 38 Beach Cove, Morris Point Resort, Texas. And the hearing will open at 6:04.
What an idea what we're looking at doing?
Short-term rental is Airbnb.
And I think the owners are here. There he is. Zach, do you want him to?
No, I just want somebody to know what we were talking about. Sure, his rental, that we were talking about the other day.
Yeah, it's a short-term, it's an Airbnb, that's what it is.
And notices were sent out to the people around it, where he's been taking care of them.
Nobody wishes to comment?
Sure, sir.
Step up to the podium, state your name.
Gary Bruner, I live on Leather Clay Drive, actually right across from 38 Beach Comfort. I've met Zach, we talked, discussed things over time. Told that I'm looking forward to being a neighbor. But under the circumstances of having 52 neighbors every year, I'm totally opposed to it because of the noise, different things that happened already before we discovered there was a short-term facility. But apparently, under the rules and regulations, I may need to be my neighbor because of the laws and legislation that is going to play. But I assume that the council and the city of Morgan's Point, upon issuing this permit, will enforce all the required stipulations on that permit if passed. That said, I would like to also add something that may not have come to the attention of the zoning and planning committee, which we just had last week. Wastewater septic. Normally a house has 3-bedroom, possibly 4-bedroom home. The septic systems, which were antiquated back when this house was built in my also, is, I don't know if it's going to be adequate to obtain all that water flow that's going to come out, especially if you have 1 or 2 inches of rain, saturating the evaporation pools. So my intention is that I would propose that all the short term, not just the 38 beach rentals, will be inspected by the Delaware County Health Department and be pumped at a minimum of every 2 years to be added to that permit requirement for environmental purposes. And I want the council and the city to realize that we're looking at this short-term rental at a 38 beach home on a daily basis because I have no choice. It's right there behind my back door. And like I said, I'm not looking forward to having 52 new neighbors out in my backyard and in the coming years. Thank you very much.
Last question of the property owners. Sure. What's your intended occupancy on the weekend or for the rental period?
It's primarily for families, like for maybe two families to get together. I know on the books here, there's an 8 adult limit, and that's fine. We have 4 bedrooms. I did talk to the Bell County Health Department before I purchased the place, and they said that the septic was fine for it. Because we're not going to have, 15 or 20 people. And so, yeah, it would be good for people coming for tournaments, coming for weddings, other events in town, fishing, all sorts of things. We've got a lot of demand. This area is incredible, so. Is there any other?
What's the parking situation there as far as in the driveway? How many cars will it accommodate? What I'm looking at is with the rental, are there gonna be people parking on the street or?
There will not be anyone parking on the streets. We have a driveway that fits up to 4, but it fits 3 comfortably. And then there's a 40-foot long part that's good for like a boat trailer if we needed to. This is at the very back of the cul-de-sac, and so I only have one neighbor right next to me, and he's reported no parking problems. He said he's at most seen 4 cars there. So we actually, we had some different information we found on the website that we thought we did not need a permit. And so we had opened it, we had 8 different groups come already, and he's had no problems. All 5 neighbors in the cul-de-sac, I went to each of their houses, and they each said that there were no issues with the parking, with noise, with anyone on their property. So it's been really good for everyone on Beachcomber so far. They've been really supportive.
And also on the public comment sheet, I have Henry Hobinson.
Yes.
Robinson, okay, I didn't see your leg coming out the side. Sorry, Robinson.
Excuse me, before he speaks, can I rebuttal that statement, please?
If you don't, I will.
Okay,
That is not true.
As well.
This all started in January. I don't know how many minutes I have, but it started in January when these people started coming in. And it's always quiet in my neighborhood because I live across the street. My neighbors were all confused because there was something going on for whatever reason. Unexpected noise, unexpected parties, unexpected language. And so that's what brought my attention to what is going on across this way. And that's when I discovered it was a Airbnb, or the vacation rental. Our neighborhood, which is across the coast from Beachcomber, is a little bit different because Beachcomber's here, we're across the coast, it is an amphitheater coming across that ways. Everything that's on that porch, we hear. I don't care if it's a cell phone or whatever, it's loud and noise, we hear it, that's what brought to our attention. So it is not true that there's nothing disturbances. I personally went to see the neighbor right across at 40, Beachcomber, Dale Elder, and he said there was an issue of parking. He said the cars were parked all on the street, and they had to back out to get out for people coming in and out because it was overloaded. He had an issue he explained this all to me, that he had an issue for them turning around in his circular driveway. So that is not completely true on that statement. Thank you.
Can I rebuttal? Do you rebuttal?
Henry, no, hang on just a second. Henry, step right up.
Thanks. Henry Robinson, I live at 23 Triton. I'm glad Gary said what he said, because if he hadn't, I would have. When it started New Year's Eve, I've never seen people out popping firecrackers in daylight. They usually wait until it's dark. I went to the planning and zoning meeting and told everybody, there what was going on. But my primary reason for going was 2 things. I wanted to see if the owner had contrition and what was his plan to keep these short-term people
I've heard. I was talking with Jay Montgomery, and he was telling me, well, we're gonna let them finish up. There's a couple, that are, the daughter was in the hospital at Baylor Scott White, and we want to let them finish out the deal. I said, oh, that's good. He said, they're good people. And I said, well, I'm here discussing with two other neighbors, and last night, he was standing out on the back deck or whatever, you've got a hot tub or something out there, and this guy was cussing, and they said, you would not believe the language. So I said, Jay, if that's what you're proud of, then so be it, but I'm not. So anyhow, I didn't see any contrition, and I haven't heard one thing as to what you plan on doing to stop all that. But I found out from talking to Jay that there's fines. Up to $1,000. And Gary and I will talk to the neighborhood. We don't want somebody going out and just arbitrarily calling the police. I've warned Chief Clarence, get ready. I said, we didn't know it was Airbnb before. We thought it was just a neighbor that had just gone crazy, I guess. The COVID or the quarantine, it finally got to him. But now that we know what's going on, you will get complaints. Thank you.
Sir, I'll give you one quick rebuttal, and that'll,
You want me to?
if you like to, you can do it right there.
What'd you say?
Well, I'll just give you one quick second, it's not arguing, just a chance to rebut, that's it.
Okay,
And then we're moving on.
okay, lots of them back there.
Why don't you come up here?
Okay.
Sorry. You're very well,
Yeah,
it's
just-
opposed and all that.
Sorry, my name is Zach Nealon. I live in Belton, here in New Mexico with my wife Melissa and 4 kids. My father-in-law, Dick Weaver, is here with me. He helps maintain the property. And I'm here 3 or 4 times a week, about 15 minutes away. So, what he is saying is completely untrue. I was talking to Dale yesterday. He's had no problems. And he could come. I wish he was here. I thought he was going to come tonight. I have his phone number, and we could reach him if you'd like. He was saying, and actually I have a Ring video doorbell that can look out on the parking, and I can see parking from all 8 people that we've, 8 groups we've had, and this is not the case. It's not true. And I'm there right now with my family, and for him to say that something was wrong yesterday is a lie. And
Well, just tone it down just a little bit if you don't mind.
okay, I'm sorry. But it's, I mean, any of that stuff is in the past. The first time I heard about fireworks was last week, so I don't know if that's true or not. Sorry, I will say more in the question thing if you like.
You know,
On the agenda. he's
On
on
the
the
I'm on the agenda, yeah.
yeah,
Okay, I'll just leave it at that.
okay.
It's been a pleasure so far. And I really want to speak up for the people that I've run into. I think that they would be assets to this community. And I've heard lots of things over the neighborhood that aren't necessarily my renters. And so it's not really fair to be called out for that. And I have some other ideas. Thank you.
All right. So we will close the public hearing at 6:16. And then we will move on to citizens' comments. We have the Miller signed up, 58 votes again. I'll wait till we get to that item before, because I assume y'all are wanting to speak on that item. Okay? And then, Denise Saber?
Not Saber.
Saber. I get that wrong every time.
I just wanted to say thank you with this snowbid week. You know, the water department were 24/7. I found out because my neighbor's Donna, and that was awesome. And I just thank the police and fire department because I know that I met a fireman that he had to be away from his family the whole week because of it. So thank you guys. and our new city manager being an encourager. I mean, that was great to hear. And because of our Morgan's Point employees' dedication, commitment, and excellence in their work ethics, my family was able to take in a family of 5 that had no power. And so to be able to open my doors because my community met my needs was just awesome. So thank you all for all the work you did.
All right, and now, also on 38 bucks in, there was someone signed up for Gary Ron.
Ritter, that's fine.
Okay.
No, I just spoke to her.
Okay, sorry, I didn't remember your name, you did announce yourself. Okay, good enough. Then, fire department is doing a painting of a battalion chief raid. Chief, come on up.
Evening, how's everybody?
Good, how about you?
Thank you for your comments. I want to echo that real quick, and Chief will say, this community came together from citizens to all of the farms we worked with. Our new city manager, Dalton Rice, who was able to organize things from afar, as it were, and a few of you guys paid, which is an amazing thing to happen. It's not easy to keep that way, so thank you. Fire department ran 52 calls that week. Spent 735, that's about an average month for our fire department. Spent 735 man-hours on station, on duty, from the 12th through the 20th. So that's a pretty incredible number if you divide that out, it's pretty staggering. Speaking of 52, there's 52 years of operational firefighting experience in this room tonight. 28 of those years are in one individual, that's Michael Ray. And Chief Ray, he'll come up and stand with me. I want to introduce you to Michael Ray. Michael Ray is a operations captain at Temple Station 8. He also fills in as battalion chief for the Temple Fire Department. He has 28 years of firefighting experience, started his experience with Jollyville Fire Department, where we still have mutual friends in Williamson County. Jollyville, as it were at the time, was all volunteers. It's now primarily a paid accommodation department. He is an amazing individual. He is an excellent instructor. He handles all of our hazmat instruction, helps get guys prepped for when they go through their state firefighters in, and does our annual hazmat refresher, a real guru on that. He was assigned to Rescue Company 61 as captain for 2 years. We have 2 years of increment between each rank, which means a firefighter for 2 years, a specialist for 2 years, a captain for 2 years. That's minimum, and battalion chief. The rank of battalion chief also involves taking a written exam that has 50 questions from our own policies and procedures and 50 questions from nationally published works on firefighting leadership. I won't tell you the score, but it was phenomenal. And his adjusted score with years of service and call volume, which we adjusted for everybody across that, was out of ballpark. Speaking of ballpark, average baseball player, all-around good guy. So it's my pleasure to introduce you, once Captain Michael Ray, as Battalion Chief 62. Chief Ray, in my absence, whether on vacation or sick or out fishing, which I don't fish, will assume the duties of Assistant Chief and also in emergency scenes. He's able to run complex incidents, and he's got more experience than I can even imagine offering with you in the short time we have tonight. So it's my pleasure to present Chief Michael Ray, Battalion Chief, badge number 611, that after this period this evening, this will be the last time we use that badge in the rest of the department. So. Our chief. It is. Do you have anything you'd like to say?
No.
While you're getting them, I would like to say on a personal note, now Battalion Chief Ray was at Salmon's helping out with the COVID shot. He was very professional, very friendly. The operation was very smooth. He did such a great job. It was so good to see him there and see a friendly face and handled in such a professional manner. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
We do have one individual too. I want to sneak in real quick. I want to bring up Isaac Silva. Isaac Silva is a firefighter, has been a firefighter of the department. He's unable to make our general awards ceremony on the 19th. I should mention Captain Ray was promoted effective October 1, and COVID did not like that. Neither did the council. Firefighter Silva is promoted effective January 1, so these are a little bit late in coming. Firefighter Silva is being promoted to the rank of fire specialist. He's been with the department 3 years. He started with us, got experience here, and has since gone on to work for Travis County in the Setco area by the Dakota track down there. He's become a fire specialist. He's certified on aerial operations on the ladder company. He's in the special operations group, and Chief Ray's first official duty this evening will be pinning fire specialist Ivy Silver. And we will get out of your way and we'll pose for a picture in the back side. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
We're glad you're ready to the council meeting. Good job.
All right, now we get to item 1, discuss and take appropriate action on approval of February 9th, 2021 regular session minutes. I need a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Any opposed? Item passes. Item number 2, discuss and take appropriate action, variance of 58 Buckskin, resolution 2021-5. This is a variance for a carport. Millers, if y'all would like to make a brief statement.
First of all, I want to appreciate and thank Dalton Rice, Jay, and Donna, and the planning and zoning commission folks. We come here about 3 or 4 weeks ago for our first meeting, trying to get a carport so that I can put my wheelchair into the back of the truck without having to stand out in the rain and weather to do it. We talked to everybody and they said, we have to have a variance. I agree with that. The way the house is made, it's kind of strange. The way the lines are. And we had proposed a, metal carport. And talking to Dalton and Jay, they said, can you come up and look at something, different, maybe out of cedar? Can you get the garage extended, which I would have to do 10 feet and have it raised 2 feet? And I did that, well, that was out of question because they quoted me $45,000. I'd rather just not do that. So we decided, after going through planning and zoning, to look at the cedar. And we think that's gonna make it look a lot better than the metal. And we don't have a whole lot of neighbors where we live. We're on the very last corner on Buckskin. Well, we think it's gonna look better if it gets approved than the metal. It's not gonna be as commercialized looking car. We haven't paid about 3 times what the metal would cost, and that's if we get the wood now. But I thank everybody that was involved.
It's a gazebo type, it fits more in the landscape and tomato stuff.
We think it's gonna look nice.
All right.
And one thing on that too, and you guys, thanks, sir. You'll see on item 2, there's a kind of depiction of what they're looking at. So one of the things that Jay looked at, and I appreciate all the hard work on the research, is some of these situations are going to require reasonable accommodation, for our disabled vets, especially for seniors or disabled folks. So one of the things we wanted to look at is how do we maintain that reasonable accommodation while maintaining that aesthetically appealing look that Morgan's Point Resort wants to have. And so that was kind of where we came up with, hey, we know that this needs to happen to accommodate him reasonably, but how do we still make it fit into the surrounding areas without looking, to maintain that aesthetic. So that's why
It's gonna look pretty good.
And I just wanted to say that the Millers have worked beautifully with the city. They've made compromises in what they originally wanted to do. They're adding extra expense to it. And we have done it similar with someone with disabilities before in the past. Normally, we don't approve these variances on the garages, but we have done that for the reason. So with that, I'd like to move that we approve the variance of 58 Buckskin, resolution 2021-05.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor? Any opposed? Item passes. Item number 3, discuss and take appropriate action, extension of disaster declaration. I need a motion and a second.
I'll make a motion to extend the disaster declaration.
And real quick, just to be clear on it, and I'll take it on one time, it's disaster declaration for COVID, not for snowmen.
Right.
I love
Yeah,
that.
well,
I love
because the
that.
snow is already expired.
I like that. Where do you say, Denise?
It's recorded that we,
Yep. Okay,
I'll second the motion. That's April 13th, our next council meeting, our next council.
discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item passes. Item number 4, discuss and take appropriate action. Chairman Hobbs, Planning and Zoning report regarding the preliminary plat of Rancho del Lago 4. Step right up.
How y'all doing?
Just
Good, and how are
fine.
you?
Doing well, thank you. I appreciate it. We had a good opportunity to meet with BJ from Tequila. They gave us all of the plat information, the drainage, the whole P&Z, took a look at it. We all were pretty pleased with the way that they had taken in all the suggestions that had been placed out there. So at this point in time, we have recommended to move it forward to City Council for y'all's consideration.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
And just,
I don't put a lot of work into this.
they really haven't, bless their hearts. I mean, he's been to more meetings than most of the EDC members have gone to. Just saying, he's like part of the family now. But we got delayed with COVID, we got delayed with, what was it? Snowmen. And bless their hearts, they hung in there with us and had so much patience. But we met with them on the 22nd, the mayor, and I met Mr. Keela and Mr. Little and Jim Reed that was here with us. Anyway, and Mr. Keela agreed to everything, any recommendations. We also had a county engineer look at it for his recommendations. Also, our staff has reviewed it at least twice, before the engineer and after. So this has been a long series, and we appreciate your patience so much. And with that, I am going to move that we accept the preliminary plat of Rancho del Lago Phase 4.
All right, discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item passes. Item number 5, discuss and take appropriate action. Chairman Ken Hobbs of Planning and Zoning report on specific use permit for 3 FM 2483 of Morris Point Resort.
Yeah, back up again.
You will be right after this. Ken.
Her mother died, and I can't.
Yes. All right, the planning and zoning on this particular one, took a look at it. Hang on a second. Oh, yeah. And P&Z discussed the specifics on the use permit and spoke with Mr. Teagarden, regarding traffic flow, signage, and lighting on the property. We really don't have anything that we were too specific there, just trying to make sure he was going to see that the flow of the traffic could get in easily, back out easily without, clogging anything up at that particular location. So we felt pretty good at that point. He indicated that he was going to keep the property well maintained. So with that in mind, we recommended that we move forward to City Council for your consideration.
Okay.
I move that we accept it.
Well,
Real quick, I know I'll talk to you over some other stuff, but not over this thing. How are the traders gonna be, it's not gonna be like you're just gonna pack it in and one's gonna leave it here. Is it gonna be like nice and orderly? You know what I'm saying? Instead of just like adult stations are all up and stuff.
Yes, for sure. I submitted a kind of a sketch, I drafted up on a Velcad, and the property is laid out, all with the pavement and everything that's there, to where co-campers walk the back in. They can pull in and pull out, and I do kind of have a plan where I can line them up off of the, I think, 2483, I think,
Right.
off that road. So, yeah, that's my intent, is to keep it appealing looking, and orderly.
There won't be an office structure on the plot.
No, I have no intent of any major improvements. Possibly at some point, just like a cable barrier, just for security to keep people out of there that shouldn't be in.
That would be my concern. You're gonna be leaving a bunch of nice equipment that people are gonna just be left overnight with not adequate lighting and no security gates. You're taking on some risk.
Yes.
And, I just want you to be aware of that, but I echo what they're saying. I want to be pro-business and bring new business to here, but I want this to look, it's right there at the four corners of our community. So I think it's real important that as you grow your business, that my hope would be that you make it look like a business, not a parking lot. Right?
And the other thing that I thought on you to do with this, I talked to him, that he was teaching his kids, before I even heard about this, he was teaching his kids how to open a small business up. And that hits me like hard for somebody, I'm all about opening your own business, doing things for you, so I appreciate you doing that too. So,
I have a motion, need a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor? Any opposed? Item passes. Item 6, discuss and take appropriate action, Chairman Ken Hobbs, planning and zoning report of specific use permit, short-term rental, 38 Beachcomber.
Okay, we did have a public hearing on this particular item, and there were quite a few citizens' concerns. You've heard some tonight. Some of the ones I just jotted down that we heard at P&Z was late night noise, mostly music, loud profanity, fireworks going off, hard to enjoy your own property, negative effect on property values, a different neighborhood every weekend. There was a significant discussion at P&Z and how we manage this type of property in the future. Development will continue to develop ordinances to mitigate citizens' concerns. There was one property owner that was there that night that was supportive of the short-term rental, saying that a property owner should be allowed to manage their property the way they best have it suited on the ownership of the property itself. The current property owners have taken additional steps to address some of the surrounding property owners' concerns, and from what we understand, they will take additional steps to make sure that Morgan's Point Resort develops ordinances that will be established for this type of business going forward. We did recommend it to come forward to City Council for your consideration.
Okay.
So what's the, I'm looking at this short-term rental, here, it's in our packet tonight, and it shows, for a short-term rental, maximum for 8 adults and 3 motor vehicles for a structure, 3 or more bedrooms. Quite honestly, this is the first time I've seen this, where did it come from?
That's actually the next item.
And actually, this was used when we approved the 3-bedded B&Bs, or whatever we call short-term rentals. When we did that for their distance, they had 3, and we came up with this in order to mitigate, anything that would go on in short-term rentals. So we actually have adopted this before. This was presented from P&Z to us, and we adopted it last time we did it. So that's where it came from. We haven't formally adopted it, but when we do an acceptance, just like P&Z, we can make our recommendations. We can say whatever we want in our recommendations. So these right now are informal recommendations, and we did use them last time.
How many other, rental properties roughly are there in the community?
That we know of, a couple, but that we are starting to uncover. There's a lot more that we need to get a hold of as far as addressing where they're at, are they permitted.
You talking about rental or short-term rental?
So from a legislative standpoint and a legal standpoint, we've reached around to other cities. Everybody's having the same issues with this. What is the legal precedence with this? We reached out to TML. There's not a lot of good information out there. So we're really just trying to stay ahead of it as much as we can. Again, manage the growth, not let it manage us. So we've had the ordinances here. We're just continuing to try to update them to address how we can make them parts, businesses and parts of the community the right way versus just kind of coming in unfiltered. So right now we have the ordinances, so it's on us just getting the message out there. Once we again get these addressed, we'll continue to look at the ordinances, continue to look at our rules, and make sure that we get that out to the public so we know, and then start kind of bringing it back in. So a lot of it is what do we need to do from now going forward, and then retroactively go back and say, hey, where can we do to bring these into the city as well? And that's
Can we print out a list of the ordinances and have the rental, actually that was a rental agreement, each one person, and each group of renters, such as fire director, noise, existing noise, parking
parking stuff like that.
They actually, in reading over their form that they gave to the renters, they actually had mentioned it was against city regulations to shoot fireworks.
Okay.
And then they had their noise, I'm thinking it was, it was more stringent than what our noise ordinance says.
I would say,
I think
I
ours
think
said,
it, so they say, well, I wasn't aware of that.
Right.
Yeah, here it is, it's part of the room agreement.
They have-
Here's
they
the rules,
have pretty-
whatever, you know, just whatever ordinances.
And that's something that we can maybe look at doing brochure wise, maybe create just a simple brochure for short-term rentals coming into the city, you know, kind of part of the packet, and we can say, hey, we heard you're handing out to the fewer renters, so they're aware of any upcoming changes. So I think that's something we can work with, you know, with our local businesses on local Airbnbs, short-term rentals, to come up with a good solution.
I don't think it'll affect them very much one way or the other, just get it out to the people doing it. So they're aware of it.
There is no ordinances and noise and fireworks and fancy, you got a lot of, the regular ordinances already apply.
Right. No, I agree, it's actually just a matter of,
and I think too, maybe the citizens just need to be aware, this is like any neighbor that you have. If your neighbor was out shooting fireworks, if they were out there screaming and yelling and stuff, I'm sure that may be an option. First you go talk to them. Well, I do with my neighbor. We warn each other when dogs are coming to town, if there's a kid's birthday party. So we do it in a neighborly way, but it may be good to get your number out to the neighbors so they can call you directly. But the thing is, they have the option to call the police. Either they are held to the same ordinances we are. And unfortunately, on the lake, and any of you that live on the lake, you hear things across the lake. It's actually worse than next door. I mean, we back up to Cedar Ridge Park, and we get entertained. I mean, they do band karaoke on the weekends. I mean, and some, yelling and things, but buying lake property, that's part of what you take on, is when you're out on your boats, how noise carries. And it's an unfortunate thing. It's wonderful to be on the lake, but you learn this community. And I know at P&Z, you had mentioned some mitigation that you were doing to address it. Can you tell the council about mitigation? Because this concerns the citizens that are.
Sure. Thank you for the opportunity to talk. Mr. Leonard, I really thought that there were other Airbnbs, but looking at the place they were, because I stayed in one like a mile from my house, and so I thought surely that was one, but it's actually like a block outside of city limits, and then there's like 2 or 3 on Bonnie Lane that's like just, I don't know how it's even possible, but as far as I can tell, there's only the 3 that came forward in November, and then so I have 4 things that we've changed since the beginning of February. Let's see. So we had a fire pit that, I mean, it's like, it draws people after hours, after dark. And then I guess our code is like a microphone, so that's not fair to our neighbors. So we got rid of the fire pit completely, told anyone who might have been coming, these days. Especially in the summer with sunset after 9 p.m. So, all right. We did have a back deck sound system, so I've disabled it. I had never told renters about it, but it's disabled. I've installed a system called NoiseAware, which is a fire alarm for sound, and if the sound reaches a certain level, it pings my phone, and then I can either text or call the person staying there and let them know, can't be out here after a certain time, calm down. And NoiseAware itself said that 70% of the time that's enough to stop the noise. And it's important to note that it does not record conversation. It's not like a privacy problem inside the house or anything like that. So it shouldn't be any privacy concerns. And supposedly it's 40% faster to do it that way than to allow neighbors to call us. I've given my phone number to all 5 people in our cul-de-sac, and Mr. Brennan. And so they do have my phone number to reach me. Jay has my phone number. I'm going to go visit the fire department and police and let them know long term, if there is a problem person out there, we can just get rid of them at night. Like, it's not like if you're a 30-day or over, renter, you have, I guess, more lights. And it might take months to get someone bad out. So we think that's good for the neighborhood. But so far, I've had really respect from people, as far as I can tell.
So, you answer your phone later on.
Yes, it's honestly. If it's at 2:30 in the morning, I hope I wake up to hear it, but I do, I mean, it is right next to me. I put it into the rental agreement, I think it's after we even I'll have more about the, more detailed expectations about noise, especially after dark. And then we also have our rules posted right there in the kitchen that they all walk by. And then I have a ring doorbell, they have a keyless entry, so it's just that one person that has the code. And then I'm putting up another camera to make sure we get all the parking, to make sure we see if there's any, make sure, you can see people coming by, you can stop the party before it happens. So it's all about communication beforehand, and really it's on me to bring people that love Morgan's Point, will respect it, and love the businesses, love the area. And so I have to be very selective, and it's something that I take it on myself.
Okay, thank you, sir. All right, motion?
One of the things I wanted to say, and I mentioned this at PNZ, in your agreement, you've got a maximum of 6 vehicles, that has to be changed to 3 if we adopt these rules.
Yeah, can I say something about that?
In the original agreement that I read with your,
Right.
people that you lease to on short term, it said maximum of 6 vehicles.
I was gonna ask if it's okay. We have 4 bedrooms, and so if 4 couples came from different locations, we'd like to have a either a variance or in the ordinance to have 1 car per bedroom or 1 vehicle per bedroom, as I said it. If that would be possible to.
But actually, that would be the next item.
Is there adequate parking for 4 vehicles?
There 4 will fit in our driveway, and then we have, right, it's an odd cul-de-sac. But, we've had no problem as far as me being there.
What do you do with boat trailers? I mean, people come to the lake to bring a boat, how do you park the trailer?
We have a 40 to 45 foot part of the driveway, so they would have to have less cars at that point. Which the majority have had 2 or 3 cars, like if it's one family coming, that wouldn't be a problem. Are they allowed to park at the marina? No, only if they park at the boat. I'll have to look around for safe places on that, yeah. But we do have capability for a boat trailer. It won't clog the street.
Okay, so back to item 6.
When we did that other one last time, didn't we have something where we could go back, we were gonna look at something after 1 year or something? Am I thinking something different?
Yeah, no, I think we did say we go back after 1 year and check and see how our operation was going, and see if we had.
I mean, that's something maybe to the next one that we could do. I'm a neighborhood person. I worry about just moving in my neighborhood. I know all of us do. I don't want to sit up there. This is a no-win for us up here. We can't win anywhere we do this. But at the same time, I don't want to go somewhere that we can't get out of either. If it's not working, these guys don't need to, just probably his livelihood right there. I mean, and I have to look up for that guy too, we can't win. We can't win right here. But I want to make it where it's fair for both ways, that if it's not working, it's not working. It's not, this guy's, they shouldn't have to move because something's not working, is what I want to see us cover. That'd be the next part.
We can put whatever stipulations that we want on it.
Yeah, the permit expires a year. Or 18 months, whatever you think.
I'm looking at this thing, I understand, the neighbors, they get their home, their investment and everything there. And what I want guidance there, this is all you can have, period, and then it's up to the landowner, the property owners to keep an eye on that and obviously call the police if there's an issue. Because without the police responding to something, we're not gonna know there's a problem.
And that's true.
And so far, in Dalton, the policemen have not been any calls to the police department, so we just want to make sure they know that they can call the police. If, you know, if there's anything, like with a neighbor.
That report was stated in the zoning and planning, but the reason being that there were no reports because this just happened.
We went 6 months back.
Yeah, 6 months ago, there wasn't nothing going on, they were still negotiating the.
Yeah, but we told that we did 6 months all the way from every day, from 6 months back all the way to.
But the thing only started in January, that's where we got our attention, it started, so all those 3 months, the house was being worked on, there was no property, we didn't even know what was going on until January. And every weekend, Friday to Sunday, was busy, noise, whatever. Sunday afternoon, quiet. Monday through Friday, good and quiet. Friday afternoon, here we go again. Like I said earlier, it's every weekend, we sit there, you don't know what's coming. You don't know. It could be a nice couple, it could be a nice family. Next weekend, you don't know what you're gonna get.
Well, some kind of motion table, motion to approve, motion to deny.
Well, I think we have it in our specific use permits. It is permitted in there. And they do have to go through the permitting process, the notifications, the public hearings, you know, which is why we did a public hearing, we did one in P and Z. We have a plan in place for that. Back in 2003 is when this was put in. You know, to me, if we decide we're not doing it anymore, it needs to be going through the proper process of taking it out if we don't want to do it. I do think it's good that he has listened to what they said, and he's done mitigation, and I don't know what I would do on an investment property, the fire pit and that system, noise awareness, that's, you know, doing things like that, so I think that would really help, being notified if this happens. So I think he's done everything he can to mitigate it, and with the help of the neighbors, he may come up with some other stuff. It seems like he's amenable to doing it.
So what's the length of this permit?
Well, this is something like Ronnie said last time, we said 1 year. Can we track this through City Hall to have like something to remind us that?
Yeah. So, you know, this is where Neil can kind of, you know, maybe help touch on from the legal side. Right now, we just don't have a lot of information. And so really where we're going to stay ahead of kind of to Neil's point and to the staff point, we're continuously working on the ordinances to make sure we have them in place, we have the special use permits, but we're going to continue to do research and do our due diligence to make sure that we do cover it. Because what we don't want to do is not address it, brush it under the rug, thinking it's going to go away, or deny it potentially, and then there could be opportunity there that we don't know about that could set us up for failure, and then we can't regulate it. So we still have a ton of research that we need to do. These are, even though they've been around for a while, from a municipal standpoint, they're still relatively.
And remind me, you had one Supreme Court case that where it was challenged saying that it was violated a deed restriction for resident, that it was not a residential use. And the Supreme Court struck that down and said that it was a residential use. Austin and their ordinance that portions of it kicked out as being unconstitutional. So the law is evolving in this area.
kind of one of those things where let's work with businesses. One of the things we haven't even addressed, which we're gonna bring later on, is the hotel occupancy taxes. We can collect revenue off these businesses, bottom line. And so we have one there, we just have to see how that works. And again, it's a process. But yeah, we're working on staying ahead of it. I think right now the best option is working closely with these businesses and with these residents, to try to come up with the best solution going forward until we can figure out where the law and the legal precedence goes with it.
Yeah, what, yes, sir.
So we own a cleaning company and we have Airbnb contracts in Temple, Belton, Killeen, all over the place. And this is a growing problem that every city faces. I don't think you can deny it. But one of the things I was going to say was, to his point, if there are ordinances being violated, who's responsible? Who's gonna get that citation? And I think since it's an evolving problem, set a time limit, say, okay, we're gonna give you a 6-month permit. If we get too many complaints that are valid, you know, you're violating X ordinance, noise ordinance, you know, who's held responsible? Is it the renter or is it the property owner? If it's the property owner and you have a stack of violations over a 6 or 12-month period that kind of tell you, you know, maybe they are abusing their property rights. Maybe you can challenge it that way. But at this point, if I would, as a citizen, I wouldn't want to see an Airbnb next to me. But I know I can't deny it.
Right, so,
Neil,
approve, deny, or table?
Well, 1 second. Neil, what Andrew said about getting the citation, my understanding is they have a contract with these people, and in the contract it says if there's excessive noise, partying, or whatever, we will evict you. Is that?
You're going to decide whoever the person that is violating the city
Okay.
ordinance.
Okay, so that would be the individual.
Yes.
Yeah, just like anything, just like any other resident is there. Okay, I feel like in you know, listening to our city attorney, the advice on this, and I think that Mr. Nyland has done a lot to mitigate some of the problems with it. We know it's a no-win situation, but it's something we have in our permits, it's something that they're allowed to use as land use. So I think we just need to get a good handle on what we can do, what our legal rights are there. But I think at this point, I'd like to move for the specific use permit being granted at 38 Beach Camp.
For a period of time.
Yes, and we can,
Wait,
what?
is there, and I haven't looked at it, but do we have the authority in the ordinance to put a limit on the time? Or is it just approved or not? I don't think we do.
It doesn't specifically.
We don't know, I think we table this, get more information, we hear all night about this.
We didn't say it with the last one, just that we were going to weigh in on it at a certain point. Not that we were going to deny them a permit, but that we were going to evaluate the
You can
situation.
always revise your ordinance.
Yeah, which is what we're going to do now.
But we got to have, we can't do something that we haven't approved in the ordinance. And if our ordinance doesn't have a time limit in it, then you can't impose one tonight on this application.
I think we better approach this tonight, we've been, this has been kicked around long enough, we're kind of go away, so we need to approach it, to take it, and get our over.
Do you still move or approve?
I still want to move to approval. I mean, we've done a lot of road notifications.
Right, Ronnie, got a second?
Yes, be wrong.
Ronnie, okay, sorry, okay? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We have one opposed. Item does pass. Item 7, discuss and take appropriate action, update provisions regarding chapter 14 zoning. That is the highlighted stuff that y'all are looking at. All it's doing is adding the definition for an rule limitation for short-term rentals.
Well, that's what we're talking about, so I'll move it,
I just have a question, I'm sorry. This is in our zoning, ordinance, Neil. What can we do, I know we're not actually changing zoning as to single family to commercial or agriculture and that. Are we allowed just to adopt some rules, or do we have to go through some more hoops because it's in our zoning?
Question,
Yeah, they're not going to charge fees to the one that we just approved, but from this point moving forward, we charge fees. Okay? So I think all what you recommend is we pass this as is, we research fees and then amend this later on to add fees.
You do either one. Yeah, we can do this where it's in there, and then we can come back with and it's again, 8% for
That would
and
probably be the easiest thing.
Why don't we just look at it all at one time?
Okay.
The fees, and then that way too, we can think over, there may be some other things, or some citizens may give us, I think Gary was in on some of these, held Jay with some of the terms as far as motor vehicles as opposed to, so, our citizens have come up with some good ideas too to help with it, so that would give us some time in between if they have some.
Yeah, I think the motion table. Second? Everybody in favor? Oh, who's the second? Bruce. Item 8, discuss take appropriate action, budget adjustments on computers. I need a motion and a second.
Second.
All right? Council discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Item passes. Item 9, resolution 2021-6, designating authorized representative, city manager's signatory for text pool investment pools. That's pretty much standard. If the city manager gets it, I need a motion and a second. All in favor? Any opposed? Item passes. 10, discuss and take appropriate action authorizing city manager signature for all financial transactions to include the city's local bank institution for any other fiduciary transaction. Any motion and
I so
second?
move.
Motion. I asked sometime last year about the limit on what those transactions were. And what I think I heard was there wasn't a limit.
I believe state law is, I think, 50, anything under 50, and we need to look at our financial policies, that's on my to-do list also, just to go through all the financial policies, look to see what it is. Usually council action, I think, is 50,000, unless, they can make it anything they want, I think, so.
You want to set the limit at above, so you require 2 signatures?
Either that or it has to come to council. Above a certain dollar amount, it has to come to council.
And now, we're not into our financial policy right now, and we'll have a presentation on all that, and what that shows, and we either adjust February. So those are gonna be coming up on budget timelines.
And I think that's kind of the standard that's been used is the 50,000, because that's the bidding term.
I've got $50,000 on bidding.
That's
Right, right.
But you're talking about this, the authority of the city manager. You put whatever in.
Yeah, that was changed not long ago, there for a while. All bills had to come before council. And then about 8 years ago or so, council approved it for the city manager to do this right in each.
And the time I asked, it was around 25,000.
The bidding says what you did was raised from
But, as far as the signature for the bank transactions, this is just so we can transfer funds, make deposits, all that large. But you are correct, we do need something in place, I agree with you 100%. But as far as item number 10, I need a motion and second.
I already made a motion.
No motion,
Second.
Robbie, you second also? Okay, all in favor? Any opposed?
And if you want, we'll bring it to the next
Yeah,
meeting.
we'll put something together and we see what we got now.
Okay.
Item 11, discuss and take appropriate action on pool schedule and fees. The handout that is here, these are the fees and the schedule that you are proposing, is that correct?
Correct. So this is kind of a draft, we had I'm gonna talk about it later on, but we had a good events meeting, kind of discussed the future of 2021, the events within the city, went really well. We'll talk about that a little bit later. This is our initial kind of proposal. So some of the issues that have arose, or have come up from previous years was residents not being able to use the facilities from a residential standpoint, from a taxpayer standpoint. They're either busloads of people were coming in, paying the $3, which I did find out after the fact. Our ordinance actually says $5, but we were only charging $3. It had changed and didn't even get implemented. So this kind of, what we're trying to push on this one is to have a residential rate and a non-residential rate. And what we're also trying to proposing is that we really want to drive residents or maybe people in facilities to really push for the season passes. Most bang for your buck for a family of 4. We left those fees unchanged for the individual pass, the season pass, or a family of 4, each additional, and the seniors. And what we're adding or wanting to propose is add a non-residential rate, which can be validated at the city hall through the water bill. And non-residential rate individual would be 80, and then a non-residential rate for family of 4 would be 175 each additional person. Because the big thing and the reason why we want to kind of go down this road is we encourage non-residents to come out and enjoy the views, enjoy the scenery. If you get a season pass, you're more than likely going to come and enjoy everything that's going on. But we just want to really, one, we always want every single year to amenity to our residents. That's what it was initially designed for. And so we want to encourage our residents to go out there, be able to show up and be able to use the facilities. One thing that's kind of, I would say, the controversial piece of this is the gate fee is too difficult to figure out resident, non-resident. And so really that's what we want to push is encourage people to get the season passes. So I'm proposing to do a $10 gate pass. Really cheap in the grand scheme of things. If a busload of 50 kids show up, they're paying $10 a person to come in. And if they stay there all day, they can stay there all day, and if our residents show up, they can't get in just due to occupancy or limitations. So one of the ways that we're trying to mitigate the group is we actually want to establish a group rate day, or group days. So Thursdays, groups can sign up in block increments, just for a similar rate, 2 hours or 3 hours in this case. And then they can come out and actually have a group day where they can come out. And again, all this is up to council, this is kind of just a proposal. The other addition, and we're already starting to get phone calls on a lot of these, so that's kind of what I wanted to bring to council tonight, is we had a pool party rentals from 7:30 to 9:30. I think that's always kind of been there. We're already starting to kind of get people asking if there's multiple pool rentals. So we wanted to add another one, 7:30 to 9:30, and then from 10 to midnight. The fees that would be a part of this, we cover portions of the lifeguard. We are limiting, Patrice is diligently working on the lifeguard stuff. We're not going to have as many as we did last year, so we're looking at some of the margin and the expenditures going to come down just a little bit. We will have a pool of lifeguards to be able to do this, but a lot of the group rates are going to cover the cost of the hourly rates of those lifeguards, so it's not a loss. But the most important part is really kind of separating it out just for our customers. That's our proposal of now. Mondays are going to be closed for maintenance, for cleaning, for anything. We're going to do that.
What's that? Yes. On the pool party rentals, is there any way to do like a 12 a.m.? I mean, Tom and everybody else is going to be here now. I know we know a lot of people in this town. Will we do like a 6 to 8, an 8 to 10, or?
So
just get
yeah. So the issue is the pool closes at 7. We want to give a 30-minute break, kind of in between each one. So what we can do is we can kind of do a trial run on it, and if at any point in time we feel that it's unnecessary or it's kind of a little bit late, we can absolutely close it down. We could also maybe even do it to where the second times are only on the weekend. So we have some flexibility with this. Really what we wanted to do is be able to put a brochure out of our proposal, see what people are starting to really book, and then we can kind of adjust it.
Would you make any accommodations if we're going to do a 10 p.m. to midnight for actual more drive-bys by law enforcement? Because after hours?
And we absolutely can. And so, that's one thing, Charles and I, Chief, and I haven't really had a chance to kind of talk with on, so we are kind of reevaluating all of that. We do have a lot of parks, and we do have a lot of places that we need to really have a presence in. So those are some of our ongoing short-term strategic planning. We're continuously working this, the continuous of our models, Again, if it becomes an issue, yes, we can absolutely shut it down, or just take 10 and then not pay off, but we can kind of reevaluate. If we don't have anybody that signs up for it, I Any other meetings there? We had the reason why we're bringing this now is we had a lot of people asking, even people were asking about the second shift. And so I don't think, and this is just me from my experience with kids, we can rent out pools, you know, from 10 to midnight. Most of the time it's going to be 5 or 6 or a birthday party or something. It's not going to, obviously, we don't have alcoholic beverages. So it can be a trial. Usually it's going to be kids, birthdays. Again, I know the sound and everything that goes, so if that's an issue, we absolutely can address it and shift schedule or you know, reevaluate recess.
And, I'm with the ladies, I was wondering, were they consulted on water aerobics to see if that's the same price they're going to do that for?
I don't know, that's a great question. I know we talked about it at the events meeting, and I think they said everything was the same, and nothing's changed. So,
We'll just verify.
yeah, we can update that. We'll verify the water aerobics one. Because the $3 at the gate is an actually full one, but for, you know, it's one of the things I want to point out is one of the seniors is saying non-residents. I think that's something that we can absolutely get back from seniors. And I think from the standpoint of water aerobics, honestly, I'm good with that. I mean, $3 for water aerobics to go to smarter good. At that point, that's they're doing it in enclosed or off hours.
Okay. Any other questions?
And I just wanted to verify this, so we can make a distinction in pool passes by residents and non-residents.
I cannot find
Is that,
anything.
I'm just asking, you're like my best friend tonight. That's the difference. That makes sense, because the marina,
I didn't hear that.
the marina, I asked the question because at the marina, you cannot make a distinction in residents or non-residents. And so he was explaining it.
Yes.
Tenants, people have rented and paid fees there, that's what goes to
Here,
marina.
tax dollars are being spent, so therefore residents' tax dollars are being
So that wasn't the case when it was built, right?
Uh,
So that wasn't the case when it was being built, or when it used to be.
That's back when you had to own property to have a stall out there. Now you know.
Well, I'm real comfortable the direction this is going, and I think it's a great idea, residents and non-residents, because our residents work with their taxes.
Motion and second.
I think the one that accepted, it didn't pass.
Okay, so we'll schedule in fees.
Yes.
And I second the group, all in favor? Any opposed? All right, discuss and take appropriate action, resolution 2021-7, appointment of election officers for general election. That will be, early voting will be Peter Rodriguez, Deputy Pam Robinson, and the presiding judge will be Joe Stanfield. Did I catch everybody, Peter? Yeah, the judge will be his two clerks. I need a motion to second. Second. Okay, all in favor? Any opposed? Passes. All right. City manager reports, 2021 business certificate of obligation updates.
And I got a couple more to you that I'll add. So 2021.
Where that is version.
Yeah, no, that's exactly it. We're there. 2021 events, we're pretty much moving through 2021. Uninhibited at this time, we continue to press forward. We want to get events back. We have a lot of great things that are going to be planned in the city, and we're looking forward to it. So we're all on that. Certificate of obligation updates. Wish I had better news. We're still working through it. We're still working on audits. Audits are delayed again. I'm projecting another year just to get us caught up with 1819 and 1920. We are continuing to move forward with the budget. We'll have budget timelines out later on. I have a meeting with Verizon Bank even with certificate of obligations, talk with the financial planner, with COG and some other resources, we have the potential for two banks that may fund us. If they deny us, we're pretty much off the table right now for the time being. We have a couple options. I'm meeting with our bank, and we're going to continue to press forward. We have a few ideas on my sleeve that I think we'll be able to accomplish it. So we'll be able to have more follow on that. So we're continuing to work. Unfortunately, it's not going to be until the summer, based off the 45-day public hearing wait period. Again, I'll kind of have a timeline and break out of that, but we're going to start that ball rolling here soon. At least get it. Other thing too, just wanted to kind of mention, more for everybody's awareness, ICMA, which is the International City County Managers Association, real big into, obviously the international world of public administration today as well. They have a Veterans Fellowship of being close proximity for it. They give us opportunities where DoD funds veterans who are qualified and we interview to come out and basically do an internship with the city, learn about local government, get involved with different things around the city, different departments. Great opportunity. I mean, really to get some great leadership. And really to expose some high-ranking veterans. I mean, all the way from camp commanders down to some of the lowest-ranking soldiers who have degrees or are qualified. We are going to do that. It's a good opportunity to kind of bring in some interns that really doesn't cost the city anything, but support on the map and in support of veterans and what they've done for the service to them. Last thing, real quick, is the AAR. We had kind of an informal AAR after action review for SNODA.
I love that. I just love this.
So we had an informal kind of AAR. So we'll need to put some of that together. And all the council updates, I did put a lot of that information. Really for the residents, bottom line, we had about 900 homes that lost power. City crews did a wonderful job working around the clock to keep everything going as much as we could. We lost power to our water pumps. Fortunately, we didn't lose power or water from Temple, so we were able to use the residual pressure from Temple to keep everything going. We did have a few less devices here and there. Really what that helps us identify is, and we'll bring the council in a more formal setting, is not necessarily for another SNODA, but what do we need from an emergency management perspective to kind of keep us going in the right direction. So we've identified some things, and we'll continue to identify some of those things to bring to the table that will carry us through tornadoes and other disasters. Other than that, that's really all.
All right, council, you have any comments?
I've got a couple comments. One, everybody remember to spring forward on March 14th, change your clocks. The Ladies Auxiliary is spearheading this. It's a city event, the Easter egg hunt. We are going to do it. We will have an alternative to parents that are not comfortable bringing their children to a hunt. And I've got my number there so they can call me if they need an alternative. Otherwise, we're going to do the hunt as we usually do, and we'll have an alternative for children that can't come. So that's on April the 3rd, this is Saturday before Easter at 10 o'clock. And also, I wanted to acknowledge that Dan Castillo, Jesse's here. He was water and wastewater. He's moved to operator 1, so pass on our congratulations to Dan. And I know the city manager was real good about giving praise to all the staff, and they were amazing. They were absolutely amazing the work they did. But I also want to say, we have a leader in place that guided them and literally was our anchor in the storm. And he doesn't take credit for this, but he might have been down in Houston, but he was calling all the shots on a regular basis, trying to get back to us, that turnaround. I mean, so I really want to let you know how much we appreciate you, and the staff does too. They really appreciate what you do. Anyway,
All right, Ronnie, you want to say something?
I want to thank you for that. I can imagine what you do at your meetings and what you sit through. I know what we feel like. You have a knock coming every day when this is coming out. I want to thank you. I can imagine doing your job.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, now we'll adjourn. Oh, sorry, Rudolph.
So, with the over mandate, what the hell is that going to affect the speakers at all?
So, really what we kind of put out is, we're not picking one side or the other. We're maintaining kind of neutrality of it. And really, to the kind of takeaway, we're going to have more of a formal kind of release on it. We encourage people to take their own state practices on what they feel is in the best interest first responders to kind of come up with a plan to make sure that they maintain their safety practices as well. But we're maintaining a neutral standpoint on it. We're encouraging residents to take their own safety into their own hands, no matter what we've done previously, and we'll continue to address that.
You think you need an ask for it? All right, that's it. Now we will adjourn to executive session. So, city council shall convene into executive session in accordance with the following Texas government code section 551.074 personnel matters.
Yeah, I think so, too.
We're dismissal